Hi, my name is Joyce Lee. Remember the big leap we talked about last time? Reinventing life and living with no regrets. Now you may be thinking, what is she really doing in YouTube? What is she trying to sell? What products or what services? Well, today we're diving into the true spark of the Fullness of Life channel. Believe it or not, I started a YouTube channel about 12 years ago. At that time, I need to promote my book because people said if you've written a book, you need to have a YouTube video, you have promotional material, you need to go to these different public speaking venues and promote your book. Yeah, I did all that, and I have TED Talk, one of them, and I also went to communities and have public speaking engagements, stuff like that. I also put some videos on YouTube about my singing. I love to invite people to sing along, sharing some of my favorite songs. However, life happens, and as most things in life, I have to take a pause because I'm busy with other things. And that pause was long. The pause has been 12 years. Well, let's talk about why I'm restarting my YouTube channel. I'm 66 at this point. I cannot put things off because this is dear to my heart, and today you will hear about the 5 things behind the reason why I'm restarting my YouTube channel. Number 1 is about inspiring action and overcoming obstacles. As you can see, some of these 5 reasons of restarting YouTube is about you. Because for some reason, I have this nagging dream that I want to empower others to live life to its fullest, meaning to live their life potential. Because I saw so many potential in people, and yet somehow because of fear, because of their blind spots, because of their negative experiences, for example, people are burying their gifts and people are not living life to their full potential. And that troubled me because I'm a person who doesn't like to see waste. Wasting of talents is also a waste. What is it that is in me that I can help others to overcome these inertia or overcome their obstacles, or as much as inspiring actions so that they can live their true self? And that is what is most exciting to me. I recently spoke with a young friend who was terrified. And she was so scared when she spoke to me, and she said, I am so afraid to return back to university this semester because in my heart, I want to finish my law degree, and yet I'm afraid. So I asked her, what is your biggest fear? She said, I'm afraid that my condition will relapse and that I will have to quit school again the second time, and I cannot finish my degree. This particular young friend, what happened is a few years back, she left home and traveled to study in a university for her law degree. After the first year, she fell ill. She has a critical condition that she needs to return home and seek treatment. So after that, it's been a few years now, her condition stabilized and she did something in between. But now she applied again to a university and she want to continue. She want to finish her law degree because her dream is to be a lawyer. And after I heard about her biggest fear, I told her, well, that's the legitimate fear. It is true that you may relapse. It is true that you may have to drop out again. However, there are things in life that is out of our control. Then I thought to myself, if I were her, and if I were dying now, what would my biggest regret be? Would it be the fact that I'm dying too young? Or I never even tried to return to law school to complete my degree? That I didn't even attempt to finish the steps that would lead me to realize that dream of becoming a lawyer? I think that fear is the worst fear of all, over death. There is power in trying. Many times, as you find in life, all we can do is to give it our best shot because we cannot control the outcome. The outcome is up to God or up to chance. Psychologists tell us every human being strives for a good, meaningful life. We are longing for connections and justice. You and I have inner resources, but life circumstances can lead us to burnout, disappointment, feeling lost, feeling depressed. I truly hope to be someone who can give you a little lift, a little push, or a little inspiration. My ultimate goal is to empower you. Around 2010, that's where I finished studying counseling, and I'm ready to launch my practice to be a counselor, psychotherapist. I developed a life mission statement. It reads like this: Joyce is passionate to inspire, equip, and mobilize people to live life to the fullest. I treasure living, and I feel that it is a blessing to be alive. But I don't only want to be alive. I want to live the fullest of life. In my life, there are so many people that inspired me and supported me through my growth journey. And the life mission that read about inspiring, equipping, and mobilizing people to live life to the fullest, it means to inspire things like this. If I'm giving a talk, if I'm sharing some life stories, experiences with you, that may spark some ideas that will push you ahead. And equipping means I'm a teacher, so I have a lot of skills to teach and equip people with training, how to do things, how to manage projects, how to manage portfolio, how to manage their life, how to make a plan, and how to execute plans. Those are my forte. And I want to be able to equip people when the right time comes and when the right skill is required from me to impart my knowledge. To mobilize is about walking alongside people. And this is where coaching and counseling come in. Yes, sometimes people took my training course. Sometimes people understand what to do by learning, taking exams, or having certifications. When they're actually performing that task, or when they're walking that path, they may get stuck, and they need some help to get unstuck. And there's where I come in, to mobilize, to walk alongside them, to give them that lift. As I reflect back in my journey, so many people has taken me out from a situation of desperation, and they gave me hope, and they even allow my dream to become alive. Two people I want to mention. Number one is my Uncle Wa, and his family. They are so generous to me. When I was in Hong Kong as a teenager, I really loved to travel abroad to study. And where I want to go to Canada, to US, because for some reason, the people from Hong Kong really love to travel abroad because we learn English very early in life, and we study about these cultures. So I thought about this, but it was only a dream because my family could no way afford me to go. But then Uncle Wa knew that I have a desire to go to the US to study. He was so generous. Next 2 weeks, we received a check in the mail. He mailed us $600. That was enough for my plane ticket and my living expenses for the first few months. And he supported me by allowing me for a part-time job in the US that I can finish my universities. He walked alongside me over those 3 years. And Dr. Wong, he also recently passed away. Dr. Wong so generously opened up his home to have meetup groups to help us to understand about meaningful living. He introduced me to the world of existential psychology. And up to date, and that's where I study. That's where I learn about how to live a meaningful life and how to strive. I reflect and share these stories. I too will experience inner growth, whether emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. And those growths are important to me because as long as I can breathe, I am growing. I'm not staying stagnant. That's all life is all about. Most often, the highest level of life satisfaction comes when you transcend your own ego, meaning when you're striving for that bigger self, something bigger than you. And that's what I want to become. I want to become a helper to you. When I see you flourish, when I see you living your best life, and that we are giving to our neighbors, our communities, contributing, as well as making other people's life better, that is the most satisfying things for me. So that was my number one reason I want to reset my YouTube channel. It's not about my own well-being, it's about fellow human being global flourishing, including people from the global south, that we are able to enjoy this abundance in North America, in the Western world. Now, how do we bring the equal playing field so that we can improve their lives? And for us, we can reduce some of the consumption level, or things like that. We'll talk about that in the future episodes. But it's about human flourishing in general. Number two is building a lasting legacy. This is deeply personal to me. My father, he had very little education. He wasn't rich. I can even call that he is poor. And he has a lot of issues. Despite all that, he wasn't a professional at all, and he owned very little. However, he left me such a rich legacy. This channel is about paying that forward. What my father has left me is to live a life with integrity. He helped me to build strong characters. He taught me these Chinese philosophy on virtues. What does it mean to be a good human being? What does it mean to live in a just and righteous world? And to be a righteous person. To be a person that anyone can trust. That is big to me. And I want to leave something behind. And I think this is meaningful. This is much better than showing you how to make money. Yes, we need that basic level of ability in order for us to progress. And there's so much more in life that I can share with people to get unstuck, and also to understand where you're coming from, and also learn from others, from their own perspective. This is not just for my own children, my grandchildren. It is for everyone. This is for the future generation, even unborn ones. My grandson Timmy, he's 8 years old. For the longest time, he loved to play with Lego. He loved to make planes. He loved to fix cars. He loved to run around. And he wanted to buy a Maserati. That's what he loved. But one day he told me, "Grandma, I love social sciences." I said, "Oh, you love social science? Why?" He said, "Oh, I love to hear about stories. I love to hear about how people lived in the past." Oh, I was so surprised. And then I asked, "Timmy, would you like to hear about how I grew up? How I was when I was younger?" "Oh yeah, sure." So he is interested to hear about this. And he told me that these indigenous communities, how they live, where he learned in grade 4, grade 3, he was very inspired by those stories. He said, "Wow, I got to know how people survived in those hard conditions." So yes, even Timmy is interested to know about how people live, and I want to leave something behind that outlive me. I want to mention something about my high school teacher, Mr. Chin. He taught us geography, and at that time we studied the different continents of the world. We studied Asia, but most importantly, he talked a lot about the younger history of Australia and North America. And I remember he talking about the Redwood Forest, Appalachian Mountains, the Rocky Mountains, and the Great Five Lakes of Ontario. And we even took exams and all that. Yeah, we studied all that and said, well, I want to step foot in North America. And I said, as I told you earlier, those are my childhood dreams. And dreams did come true. And these people just plant a seed, and then someday, when someone nurtures it, when someone give it a lift, yep, it happened. And I'm never the same person if I didn't have those mentors before. And I want to share these experiences with people from Hong Kong. If you are in similar situations, and if you want to come aboard to study, or to see the world, or to work, or you want to go to China, it is a vast territory to explore. There's so much hidden wisdom in ancient China that is waiting for you to discover. So wherever you want to be, there is somewhere in the world for you to live your true potential. I'm not alone here. I'm inspired by giants such as Randy Pouch. You see his YouTube video on the last lecture. He talked about how to accomplish your childhood dreams. He taught his students, and during his last days, he had terminal liver cancer, And his last lecture has been viewed millions of times. And there's another giant, Maurice Schwartz. He's a sociology professor. His story, Tuesday with Maury, it is in a book form, it is also in a video form. And Professor Schwartz, or Tuesday with Maury, that story told us profound lessons on how to truly live. One thing in common about these great inspirational giants is that they share their lessons while they're facing the end of their journey. For me, I want to start sharing my journey while I'm still relatively young and strong and able. I want to build my legacy now. I want to tell you something about my domain name, Fullness of Life. Around the same time, 2010, as I was launching my counseling practice, people said, oh, you need a website. You need to tell your story. You need to let people know how to find you. Okay, then I said, well, I need a website. I want to search for a domain name. And I want to look for the name Joyce Lee, and there are 900 people naming the same name. So it won't be a good domain name. And I searched and searched. Somehow this name, Fullness of Life, came to my mind and stuck in my head. I do not only want to survive, I want to live life to its fullest. So I just grabbed this domain name. It's available to me now. And you know what? Over the years, a lot of people ask me, they send me an email to ask, hey Joyce, I can use your domain name, Fullness of Life. Do you want to sell it? Then I usually ask, how much are you willing to pay? And they pay me a few hundred, and some say more. And there's the highest person that offer was about 4,000 something. I could have asked for a little bit more, I think. But then I thought, no, I'm not selling my domain name. Even though right now I haven't been doing a lot with it other than hosting my website, and there's not a lot of things going on. But I know someday I can make a better use of it. So I held on to that domain. So that's my channel in YouTube, joyce.fullnessoflife, or you can visit my website, fullnessoflife.com. This legacy that I'm talking about is not about myself. It's about mentorship and passing the torch. I want to include other people in this channel. My plan is to have a cohort of younger people, and as well as middle-aged and older people. I want to invite them, depends on the topic. I want to invite them and let them share their stories, their views, their solutions, or their struggles. And right now I have a few people in mind, and you will see them regularly. And number one is Michelle Lee. She'll be coming with me on some interviews. And then another person is Marilyn Saw. She is about my age, but Michelle is a young person. So hopefully this multi-generation perspectives taking will help us make meaning while we are seeking meaning in life. Another reason is about real talk, no filters. There is good to share about sushi dinner as well as the most gourmet Wagyu beef dinner. On the other hand, there will be more that we'll be sharing. So we are not only about those happy reels that we are sharing, we are talking about real stuff that dive into real difficulties and challenges that life throws our way. With my own journey, my client's journey, and my friend's journey, the curveballs that life loves to throw at us, whether it's relationship breakups, whether there are mistakes that we made in life, illnesses that we encounter, and obstacles that we overcome. It doesn't matter whether you live a rich life or a not so rich one. Disappointments, setbacks, health issues, relationship struggles, and unexpected events are guaranteed in life. Together, I trust that we will learn how to face them head on. And yes, maybe someday when you look back, you can laugh at yourself. And sometimes you realize, oh, how small or how minute my problem was when you look back. No pain, no growth. So part of it, the struggles, are part of the growing pains that we encounter. In order to be resilient individuals, we need those exercise to stretch our muscles. How about the fourth reason about resetting my YouTube channel? I want to have a space to document my own learning journey. I journal a lot, and I have different notebooks, written form, computer electronic forms, you name it. I think nothing is better than documenting it on YouTube. So far, I can put videos out, and a lot of people love to watch videos or listen to podcasts. This platform is my dedicated space for my continuous learning and growth. This is like documenting my learning. It's so good. And I don't have to hire a person to shoot a documentary. It's all there. And over time, I can review and I can get inspiration. I can remind myself the richness of life. And I can also remind myself the people that are on my journey that are willing to share their wisdom, my co-hosts, and how they have shared their stories. And with that, not only to inspire myself, but the viewers, the audience. The last reason, the number 5, for resetting my YouTube channel is about building a community. We are not an island. Nobody lives by itself. We thrive in a community environment. In all my work experience, either I work with clients one-on-one or I work with project teams, organizational groups, we collaborate. And that usually, collaboration gave us the best result because one person can only think of one thing, one perspective, one set of gifts. But if you invite other people to join you, other critiques, knives sharpen knives. Let's grow together. Now, the reason why I need to have a multi-generational cohort is that wisdom lies in different generations and the world evolves so fast. We must say that nowadays in the West, we have so much technology that you really cannot decipher what to ignore and what to pay attention to. There's just so much noise bombarding at us. And some people totally gave up, but that's not me. I like to learn and I like to leverage whatever tool that is meaningful and useful. And yet I need to balance that with biological limits. I also need to balance it with digital minimalism. The reason is I'm learning and growing through the process of creating content that require a lot of tools, otherwise it will take me days. Now with AI, for example, it is good to embrace AI, but there's a lot of issue. I need to be educated about the ethical side of AI, meaning how do we avoid biases? All these large language models, they're very biased in certain culture, and also they are biased towards certain ways of knowing. A lot of voice do not get inputted into this AI model. Things like indigenous wisdom, things like ancient cultures, things like other wisdom and other literature. So in order to navigate that, we have to understand, okay, what is the limit of all that? And I plan to invite co-hosts that can talk about AI and talk about the caution that we need to pay, as well as the ecological impact of using digital technology. Even though it seems so harmless, we say, oh, everything is stored in the cloud. So you have more and more information. And you have these large servers to generate these AI testing and language model development. But it all requires a lot of consumption of energy, as well as output of energy. These big servers need to sit somewhere, even though it ends up in the cloud, but those are still being backed up by huge machines. Yes, so what do you do with those electronic waste? That's another concern. That's the reason why we want to build a community of multi-generation cohorts so that we can exchange ideas, we can also serve each other by using our own wisdom and other people's wisdom. Those are my 5 reasons why I'm restarting my YouTube channel at the age of 66. Now I want to turn the attention to you now. What is your why? What is your why in wanting to make more money? You may say, I want to quit my 9-to-5 job. I want to build my dream career. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to build a new business. I want to start up something. I want to get married. I want to get divorced. I want to get a girlfriend. I want to travel the world. Whatever that is that you want, what is the why behind it? Why is it that you want it? What motivates you to seek more in life? And what big leaps are you considering? There must be a why behind it. So as you explore more, I hope that you can reflect on that, because that may be the answer to finding your true self, what is most important to you. Now, do you know that we are all wired for greatness? Through self-discovery and real talks, heart-to-heart talks, you will find your significance, meaning you will find what is the most important things to you. And you will discover the unique gifts that only you can offer to this world. Isn't it exciting when you are able to exercise your unique gifts and benefit others and benefit the world? I invite you to join the conversation. Share your thoughts and comments, and also drop a line in the comments to tell me what topics will interest you. Or you can be one of my co-hosts if you're interested to share some knowledge of yours. I thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye!